Welcome everybody to the Champion Genetics post-game show presented by TwoBulls. You heard that right, Champion Genetics, the leaders in reproduction based out of Canton, Texas. IVF fertilization, traditional flushing, semen collection. If you need that, anything reproduction-wise done, Champion Genetics is the only place you need to consider. And I can promise you one thing, this spring when Phoenix has a calf, you'll find her at Champion Genetics. Got some cool things up the sleeve, some cool ideas. I can't wait to get to work with Champion Genetics on Phoenix to create and bring these ideas to life. TwoBulls Performance Supplements, the best supplement line on the market for these performance athletes. Dialed in, Black Label, Bova Aid, you name it. If you have a performance animal, you need to consider TwoBulls. Let's jump right into the Bullseye fantasy games. This week, this month, February, we did a little different on the fantasy games. Instead of picking two bulls on a team, you picked a target score. It was actually very interesting. There were 61 participants this week, and two people tied for first and second, and there was a tie for third and fourth as well. The two people that split the win in the fantasy games, they both picked KL401 owned by Premier Livestock to be 89.25 was the target score, and his official score was 89.30. Splitting third and fourth was they picked Waiver Wire of Team TBR and JX Bucking Bulls. One of the guys had him to be 89.7. The other guy had him to be 89.3 on their target scores. The official score, 89.5. So 0.05 difference from the target score to the official score to win first, and then 0.2 to win second. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting. I think if you're going to play the Bullseye Fantasy moving forward, you better pay attention to the pregame show, the postgame show, and follow these bulls. You can follow the playoff standings at rafterkl.com. Their profiles are updated, videos are updated, their how they finished is updated. But that's what we're going to cover right now in the postgame show. I'm going to start by saying it was a very rough start to playoff series event number 2. Two of the bulls that come from North Carolina, from Herndon Bucking Bulls, those bulls have a lot of talent, and I knew that it was a coin flip of which of those bulls showed up, just because they haven't been bucked in so long. And I for the variables that were on the table, I did think those bulls really tried to buck hard. Their score not really reflecting, obviously, but I think the talent's there. A couple months in the training program, I think I'll have those bulls back to where they were when they were selected in the draft. But let's get into it. The Champion, a playoff series, event number 2, also going to take over the top spot in the playoff standings by $300. 2415 Junkhead, owned by JAKL Investments. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my computer. 91.30 points and a $3,300 check in a Kelly Slover Custom Silverworks trophy belt buckle. A career high for Junkhead. If you watch the pregame show, we're going to leave that bull fresh. He's been on a diet. He goes in the gate to the right at my house, tends to go down the gate and go left at the events. In the gate to the right, plenty of intensity, front feet off the ground, full extension every jump. And I tell you, when a bull puts it together like that, it's definitely exciting to watch from the back of the buck and shoots. Jeremiah Desimo was there to see it firsthand in person. That was also exciting when these bull owners come to the events and get to see that happen. As Jeremiah and his wife Lacey have been to a couple events, and Junkhead is an 86 or 87, and it's just not the same feeling. So it was really, really cool to get to see Jeremiah be there to see his career high mark score, winning the playoff series and picking up a top 10 finish in the Open Fraternity as well. Second place, CO6M, owned by Truax Big Shot and 6 Bar C, picked number 7 in the 2025 draft. If you watch the pregame show, I mentioned there's 4 new bulls that did not compete in playoff series event number 1. 2 of those 4 won a check at playoff series event 2, 6M being one of them in the care of Justin Cox. And 89.60 points. First time to ever beat a town, not just in the playoff series, but in general. Picked up a check in the non-winner, and that bull wasn't real fluent about it, but he was trying to get up off the ground. I'm excited to see where Justin and the crew take 6M. I think there's a lot of good that's just now getting started. Third place, another bull we did not see at Playoff Series Event 1, 45A TBR's Waiver Wire, Team TBR. That's the Britos and JX Bucking Bulls, Harvey Johnson. Harvey Johnson on the trigger. 89.5 points to pick up $1,500 and move, slide up in there in the playoff series standings. He was really good. In the gate to the right, that bull's been to some events. He just missed the first playoff series event. But he'd start really good and just kind of level off there towards the whistle, and I thought he was very strong through the whole 4 seconds there, and a great out by the Waiver Wire. Picking up 4th in the last money hole, Playoff Series Event 2. I am going to continue on. We're going to show the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything. It's going to be cool to see the progression of these calves, with some of them having their first or second out in their career. KL 401, Premier Livestock and Raptor KL. 89.3 to pick up $1,000 in a 4th place finish. That's a bull that I raised actually, and was actually, as we were leading up into the draft last year, he was projected the number 1 pick and had a, lack of better terms, a horrible showing at the live preview. Dropped his stock, if you will, and he went number 9. The best score of his young career to this point, 89.30. And I was really, that bull is kind of the same as Waiver Wire. Starts really good and then levels off towards the whistle. And he had plenty of intensity and finished really strong as well. And I bucked that bull prior to this week, or earlier this week prior to this event. And I thought he had looked the best that he had at my house, and a really good showing for 401. 5th place, 5M Chili Party, almost tying his career high score, which is 88.96, owned by Gray Acres. 88.80. They just had him stacked in there at 89s. I thought Chili Party was as good as he's been. Lots of intensity, stayed close to the buck and shoot. I could have swore this bull would have been up there in the money at both playoff series events, and I think he's close. 1 hole out this time, and a good showing by the Chili Party. Lostro 45, Smoky Oak Farms, JP and Hannah Williams from Georgia. A 6th place finish, 87.90. Now, if you watch the pregame show, this bull at the last ABBI Big Bucks qualifier in Ada, he didn't turn to the whistle. I brought him home, I bucked him, went 3 or 4 or 5 jumps before he turned, and then I bucked him at the beginning of the week, and he turned in the gate and was really good. So he did turn in the gate, just solid. 87.9. I know that's a little off of his high mark score so far of his young career, so I know he's got more in the tank. But I talked to JP a little bit afterwards, and he turned in the gate. You kind of go through these highs and lows with these calves, especially this time of the year. In the 2nd month of the year, they're still trying to figure it out. 6th place finish. Number 7 at the event, 86.60, 2411 Midnight Chemtrails, owned by RCR, a.k.a. The Pilot. I thought that bull had a little bit of a bobble in his warm-up trip earlier this week, and when he left the buck and shoot there this weekend, he really kind of jumped the gate just a little bit, kicked it back, and it kind of he had a little stumble around the corner, and it took him a second to get going, and when he got going, he finished outstanding. 4 seconds. They can't bobble. Unfortunately, Midnight Chemtrails bobbled this week. It's going to slide down to number 2 in the playoff series standings by $300. It's going to make the race interesting with these bulls moving and shaking up and down by just a couple $100. 8th place, 400 Gravy Biscuit. This might have been the bull that surprised me the most. Crooked Creek Bucking Bulls from North Carolina. He was coming off a career high marking at Playoff Series Event 1 with an 89.6. I thought he was as good as he's been at my house in a while on Monday, and he just didn't put it together. Just kind of turning the gate, but just kind of acted lost. 85.90. 3M, he really frustrated me. 90.30 to 84.4, just wasn't his day. JTR 402, this is one of the bulls from Herndon Bucking Bulls, the number 15 pick in the 2025 draft, and another bull that made his debut. He left out of there and leaped off the ground and kicked through it and looked like he was going to turn, and it was almost like he was too close to the 90. Like you can hear it in the video. He hits up against the 90 and he just leaping and kicking and just going down the bucking chutes there, up against the out gate, and it was almost like he just couldn't get away from it to go ahead and come around and turn back to the left. That bull took the trip, or took the whole scenario better than I anticipated. That bull, I told everybody, that's a wild son of a buck. And if he ever hones it in, he's going to be a bucker. And he took the whole deal a lot better than I expected. He stood good in the buck and shoot. He ate decent. And I do expect big things from 402 from Herndon Bucking Bulls. Number 11 was the other Herndon bull, CS43. I had to move that bull back and forth a little bit before the draft. Like I started him on the lefts and I thought he was dialed in, lights out. All of a sudden he wants to go right. So I move him to the right. He's in the gate to the right a couple times. And then all of a sudden come draft day, he goes a couple and goes left. So I bucked him on the lefts here at playoff series event number 2. I think he wants to go left, but he was leaping and cracking those back feet off. It's just a take a little time to dial that bull in. Hopefully in another month for event number 3 of the playoff series, I'll have him where he needs to be competitive. But both of those bulls from Herndon and North Carolina, as you watch the videos, of course they're not turning in 90-point scores, but if you're looking at potential and you're looking at tools, they got it. You just got to get it out of them. 420 Risky Business, number 12, 69.80 points. And I tell you what, this one might have been the most frustrating for me this weekend because we took that bull for his competition debut at playoff series event 1, and he failed. Really tried to buck, but failed. So I brought him back home and I bucked him in the gate to the right to be 89s, and then maybe even 90. And then I bucked him beginning of the week. Thought let's get it on your mind. In the gate to the right, same deal. Really good, knocked out the tracks back to back. The gate open and he acted, I mean, he was bucking up and down, kicking, just no turn. So I think it's going to be back to the drawing board, maybe some trips around a couple friends' houses, get him a different look. He obviously bucks here. He went straight, flipped over, fell at event number 1, bring him home, bucking twice, in the gate to the right, knocks it out, take him back to town, whole different story. So I think going to have to haul that bull around a little bit to some friends' houses to get him different places, different scenario, different look when it's not for money, okay? I think that bull's got the talent to really shuffle up. When he turns in the gate, he's going to be winning a check, and it's just the process of getting there, something I have to constantly remind myself of. It's month 2 of their fraternity season. Just take it slow. We'll get him there. I'll get him figured out. Number 13, 402, Prove 'em Wrong, Draft Syndicate. This was a little bit on a whim. This bull, before Vegas, I went to 2 friends' houses, Brandon Stewart and Tyler Johnston, and I took this bull because he had a lot of talent. Number 8 pick in the draft last year, and he was actually way better on the road than he was at my house. At my house, he really leaps and kicks, but goes no shorter than 3 jumps before he's going to turn back. And I bucked him a couple weeks ago, and same deal. He went about 3 jumps, and I thought, you know what, we ought to try it. Playoff series event number 2, the fees are relatively reasonable. Let's try it. See what happens. Maybe he'll like being on the road. And he did leap and kick, but he was going straight and kind of going pretty fast. I think that was not his competition debut. I entered him back in maybe December or January, trying kind of the same thing. And I bring him home and he does the same thing a couple times in a row, and thought maybe a different look. You know what I'm saying? And it just didn't work. So 68.80 points, same deal as Risky Business. That bull is going to get hauled around a little bit, some different looks, some different scenarios, maybe stay a night or 2 at a friend's house and see what I can get accomplished. But this is what I'm talking about when it's month 2. Like, you got some of the bulls that are just doing it, and they're just in a little better headspace. I believe that. Those bulls, not that they've really seen a whole lot more. They've been to a few events, but it's not like they have 10 competition outs on these other bulls, and they all mature at different times of the year. And so trying to get those bulls there, That's the really, really difficult part of this business. But to me, it's also the fun part. It's rewarding when you are just banging your head against the wall trying to figure it out, and then when it finally clicks for them, it makes it worth it. And I do think with risky business and prove them wrong, they're going to get there. Those bulls got lots of talent. Just a matter of getting it out of them when it counts. So playoff series event number 2 is in the books. I felt like it was a really good event. Hey, something I do want to point out. Over the course of the 2 events so far, we've paid 7 holes in total. Three holes at the first event. There was a couple more entries at this second event. We paid 4 holes. 7 different bulls have won a check. I think that's really cool. 7 different bulls of 16 eligible bulls for the playoff series have won a check. I think that's really cool. I think it's going to be really cool moving forward as we go into 2027 with the 26 draft, the free agency auctions. I think this is going to open up the opportunity for lots of bulls to add to their earning potential. March 21st, Fort Scott, Kansas will be playoff series. Event number 3, Bullseye Fantasy. Mark it down, pay attention, and we'll see you there.